So I don't usually post videos like this on this channel, but I saw this yesterday on a friend's Facebook post, and it really annoyed me and made me want to make a video for this channel, because it really does shine a light on how people are literally getting screwed over all over the world, UK, USA, everywhere, with being stuck in this mindset belief. I'm going to read this out now, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Why don't you just save for a mortgage? It's cheaper than renting. Okay, here we go. As a single person in the UK, this is the situation for a lot of people. Most people in the UK are a minimum wage, and full-time monthly wage after deductions is around £1,700. Rent, £800, this is the very low end. Council tax, £190. Electric, £80. Water, £40. £590 left, just to live somewhere. Food, an extra £250 a month, and that's being generous. £340 left. Car insurance and fuel for getting to work, probably another £200, £140 left. Phone bill, £50, you've got £90 left. Wi-Fi to make life bearable, £40, you've got £50 left. This is the best case scenario. You have no unexpected bills or things to pay out. So say you have £50 left to save every month, that's £600 a year. You probably still wouldn't have a deposit in 20 years. That's just for a house. Apparently we've got it easy though, say the generation who could buy a house and raise a family from a one income minimum wage job. We live in a country where minimum wage doesn't even meet minimum living requirements. We're done. Really did hit home for me and strike a chord, hence I'm making the video, because it's relatable to a lot of people. And it just shows how screwed up the system is and how screwed up people's mindsets are that believe this is the way out. This is the way life should be. I have done my own thing and made my own income sources for the past over 10 years now, 10, 12 years. When I was living at home and it was just like early 20s, you know, I was always entrepreneurial, always trying to do my own thing. And I understand everybody isn't entrepreneurial. And, you know, some people just aren't made for that. Some people would do way better being employed by somebody else and just turning up, doing a task, leaving, and then not having to think about it. But this post just goes to show, like, this is why people never get ahead. They never reach their dreams, goals, live out whatever it is that they have in their mind of what life should look like. Now, for me, life should be fulfilling, and all I want to do is have the freedom and the money to do whatever I want, wherever I want, with whom I want, when I want. Everybody wants that. Like, you can't tell me you don't want that. Even if you try and bullshit it off and say I'm lying or money's not everything. Money is literally everything, because money makes things easier, and you can solve money problems with money. Now, obviously, there are some things you can't solve with money, obviously. Can you imagine if this person had a little bit more money? They wouldn't be left at the end of the month with £50 to spend on what they want. It's a little joke. And people spend their lives in this rat race. It doesn't even have to be minimum wage. Say, for example, you were earning 3 or 4 times minimum wage, but you live in like a highly affluent area where living costs are just as expensive. You're still on this hamster wheel of having monthly expenses that almost match or exceed near enough your wage. So you never get anywhere. You never escape the rat race. You're never able to progress in anything. Which is why I've been so passionate and beating the drum about why people need to consider side incomes, side hustles, doing their own thing, being more entrepreneurial. And again, as I say, it's not for everyone, but for those watching who are still watching and haven't been pissed off by this, and you are, you know, somewhat entrepreneurial and you understand that this is just BS, all this Facebook post, the only way to escape the rat race and live your version of a successful and fulfilling life is to do your own thing, is to make your own income. It really is. Now, obviously, you could get a super high-paying job in a bank, or, you know, something that, like, where you sacrifice your insanity in return for a paycheck, where you're working endless hours every day of the week. You don't really have much say in anything, but you're only doing it because you're earning this paycheck. Now, I get there's exceptions to the rule, but from experience, the most happy people I've ever met, the people who I see as living a fulfilling life, are the ones who have gone their own way and done something for themselves. And it doesn't have to start by you quitting a job or going all in. People start doing these things as side hustles, a couple of hours here and there. That's how my career started. I was a personal trainer. I used to be a lifeguard, then I was a personal trainer, and that was my full-time thing to make my income to survive. And then on the side of that, I started learning copywriting, and then copywriting sort of morphed into this full-time income, so I stopped personal training, and everything just grew from there to where I am now. Right? And I'm not saying that in a, oh, look at me, I'm on a pedestal, look, I've achieved all this. I've achieved nothing in comparison to some people. I'm actually I feel almost quite insecure talking about this stuff because I feel I'm so far away from where I want to be, but at the same time I'm still quite fulfilled when I look back at my own journey and think, fuck, I actually have gone against the grain and done what I wanted to do in a lot of situations, and I'm super grateful for that because it's given me the life that I have now where I can wake up in the morning and do whatever I want. I can work on whatever I want. If I decide not to work, I don't have to. But the thing about this is, when you enjoy what you do, work is like play, and you actually want to work. Can you see how this thought process is flawed? Like if you're doing a minimum wage job or something you're not enjoying, you're just not fulfilled at all, and then you resent work, and then it gets even harder, and then obviously it gets harder to escape as well, which I understand. Doing your own thing is the most fulfilling thing you can ever do because you get to dictate everything, the rules, where the business goes, the brand goes, whatever you decide to build. You get to live on your terms and do business on your terms, and you don't have to end up with £50 at the end of the month to show for it. That's ridiculous. That's why people never do anything with their lives. And to be fair, I don't blame them. As in, I'm not blaming these people who are stuck in this hamster wheel. It's probably because they don't have the knowledge to understand how to take the first step to get out of it. Maybe they've seen other people who are already out of the rat race, or they're doing something that, I don't know, pisses them off, or that all their friends are doing, or whatever. But they themselves don't have access to the knowledge of what it takes to do it. Or maybe they do and they're just scared. That's another thing, actually. That's another video for itself. People just being super scared to take the first step. I don't like going all in on things, in some respects, in this respect, because if you are pissed off at your current job and then you just quit, then you literally don't have anything. Then you are screwed. Then you don't have a safety net underneath you, obviously. So you have to keep this going. But then you have to sacrifice in other areas of your life for the short term to make space and energy for building another income on the side that will eventually grow into something that exceeds this current minimum wage or unfulfilling career you're currently doing. That's how to think about it. And then once that switch happens, you can do whatever you want. You can leave. You can be earning the same, if not more, from this new side hustle you've built. And you can decide whether you want to work more or, work less even. It's really that simple. But yeah, this post has really got me riled up because a lot of people are they want to change, but they don't know how to. And they just stay stuck for 40, 50, 60 years doing something they bloody well don't like, that's one of my driving things. Doing something you hate for 20, 30 years, or getting to an age where, if I reach 70, 80 years old, hopefully I actually get there, and look back. The one thing I'm actually quite scared of is regretting I didn't do more of something else, or didn't take an opportunity when it was put in front of me or presented to me. And that's what's scary to me, and that's why I have a very different outlook on things than a lot of people, especially those around me in my circle. I'm very cautious now of who I give my energy to. I'm very, very aware of how much time I have and where my energy is best spent. And I allocate that based on what I see as the biggest points of leverage. And obviously, family, close friends, they get all my energy and attention when it's needed, for sure. Business, anything that makes my income to grow, also gets a lot of my attention. But anything that draws away from that and doesn't fulfill or get me closer to where I want to be, that is not at the forefront of my mind. And that's not where I put most of my energy when I have most of it. I'm going off on all sorts of tangents here, but it's all related to that Facebook post I shared before about the minimum wage job and how much people actually earn. And it's ridiculous. It's almost like, it's dangerous, like really dangerous, and people don't even realize it. Even now, like living costs are rising so much, but yet wages are not rising to reflect that, which is basically what that post was saying. And it's scary because people get complacent. They don't know how to move. Maybe they know they want to, but they just are scared to do it. And people need to just grab life by the balls sometimes, or the lady vagina bits, or whatever you would want to call it, and just take action, like, and actually realize that we are not around here for very long at all. Like, I'm 35 now, and I don't want this to turn some philosophical video, but man, I could be halfway through my life right now, just under halfway through it, based on stats and how long the average life expectancy is of a male in the UK. That's scary. That's fucking scary. And the last thing I want is regret when I get to those last years. Like, that's the scariest thing for me. I love living in the present and trying to make most every day, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck, I do not want to get to an age where I know I could have done more. I had the opportunity. I was switched on enough to just follow my gut and just take action. Because taking action on things and taking a step into the unknown is where some of my biggest breakthroughs have happened. I know this isn't really a YouTube related thing, but it kind of is, because YouTube is one of the things that has given me this stepping stone into being able to do what I want. Creating channels like this, getting in front of people who are passionate about the same things as me, want to learn, want to grow. It's just a fantastic way to do it. There's many other platforms for sure, but that's my thoughts on this minimum wage thing. It was absolutely bonkers, but don't get stuck in that thought process. And if you are in this camp and it did quite hit you, this post, then have some balls and do something about it. Say fuck it and just do something about it. You get one life at this. You get one shot, one chance. I don't know where you are in your journey, but I'll leave it there.